Rugby champs, a bit of change is predicted for the future. Next year, no rugby champs, New Zealand tour, South Africa. I think the next time we see a full-on rugby champs could be in 2029 or 2028.
Yeah, for me it's a pity. Firstly, I'm very happy. I mean, next year is going to be unbelievable. Yep. New Zealand on a tour here for 3 weeks or 3 test matches. They might even play midweek games against some of our provincial teams. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think we've just started getting into this Rugby Championship. And we just said it, best Rugby Championship we've ever seen. I think for the first time we can almost compete with the Six Nations, where we say, listen, we've got 4 teams that can win it. Every game is sold out. The attention it's pulling is so big at the moment. And now all of a sudden it's going to take a break for 2-3 years. Will it be able to come back? It's difficult. If you don't have something there in people's faces every week, every month, every year, then people start talking about other things. So, yeah, it's a pity. I'm looking forward to the New Zealand series, but I don't know, for the Rugby Championship to go away for 3 years and then want to bring it back, a bit worried.
So my concern, let's hear you.
Yeah, I do think maybe the championship should take a bit of a break. Is in the World Cup year.
Yeah.
I think that for me would make a little bit more sense, because you're going into a World Cup year. You would want your best players performing at the World Cup and being available for the World Cup, and also kind of keeping them fresh. That for me would make a lot of sense. But the rest, 2028 and 2030, I don't know whether we should just scrap it or even look for a different format, because this format that's working now is working for us. It is working, and I've been reading that certain countries would want a single round. Some say no, a single round's not going to work because it's only South Africa and New Zealand who's actually benefiting from it. So there's so many discussions happening. I just think we cannot have the rugby champions abolished.
So for me, what really stands out for me over the years, I mean, I've been involved in rugby for a long time, and one of the sayings, like, if it's not broken, just try not to fix it. So New Zealand, South Africa, NPC, Currie Cup, we've seen the impact it has when you start shifting things around. And for New Zealand and South Africa to say, no rugby champs, let's get our own tour on the go. Is that not selfish? Is that not killing rugby for Argentina, for Australia? Where does this put rugby in the Southern Hemisphere in a bigger picture?
No, and I think you can even look back at Super Rugby. Super Rugby was the best rugby competition in the world. I think it was almost better than the World Cup. I mean, when it was strength versus strength, that competition worked. Everyone got up in the morning, had their coffee, watched their games in New Zealand. When they came here, Crusaders, the Blues, the stadiums were full. Then all of a sudden, we said, no, we have to play more against each other. Then it was the South African side twice, and you don't play everyone. Why? It was a bit, and all of a sudden that competition just drifted away, and it faded away, and it ended up like South Africa leaving that competition. I mean, this competition at the moment is working. It's fantastic. I mean, we don't know who's going to win on weekends. Everyone wants to watch it. Why are we changing it? I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Jonah?
Yeah, again, I cannot disagree. I normally would, but now I can't. So again, it's I think everything. The fact that everyone across the world is waiting to see what happens in the next 2 weeks. That should give us a story and tell the story in terms of the hype that this competition and the tournament has actually created. To your question, why do you want to change?
There's only one reason, maybe.
Yeah.
It's if South Africa wants to move to the Northern Hemisphere, join the Six Nations, will it be viable to go join there, and then every second year have New Zealand come to a year, or we tour there, or Australia, or that's the only reason maybe why. Why will we stop a rugby championship and have a 3-game tour?
Let's talk about the tours. Game turns professional. There's no space for tours. The big tours, Vic, you remember how it happens? You take a big squad, Jono. You'd almost have your midweek games. The guys are coming through, a lot of under-20 players. And then you have your full-on test teams on a Saturday. And it looked like the game turned professional. You had to look after player welfare. New Zealand, South Africa, great rivalry. Are we trying to hang on? Are we trying to do what Currie Cup is to South Africa, where it's history and legacy? We're hanging on to the tour. For me and you now, it makes sense. Will it make sense the next 50 years? The next 100 years?
Yeah, there's only one tour that will be successful, and that is probably New Zealand. So it's the British Isles Lions and the All Blacks, or the Springboks touring to a country. Because I think the pull is so big around those two brands, it will work. But remember, we want world rugby to get stronger. We want teams like Georgia to start being competitive. We want Australia to be strong. We want Argentina. We can't let them fall away. Then we get to a World Cup. Then there's only 4 teams that can win the World Cup. So for me, for South Africa, this next year will work. It's going to be fantastic to have New Zealand here for 3 weeks. But what does it mean for Australia and Argentina? Of course, we want them to stay strong. If we have a rugby championship, it should be like this year. It should be competitive. And that's maybe what we're going to miss out.
You know, gentlemen, I've been blessed to be part of the SuperSport for many, many years. And we talk about this. I remember the days of NOS. We were saying, when are we going to have a global season? Because that could be a fixer-all for all rugby, North and South, I understand. But the sooner we get like an international window like football does, then we don't have to be stuck here at the moment. Because at the moment, we're aligned to the North. URC works for us. You know, we're partners with the URC. Huge difference. We're going to get a stronger voice in that department. Then you got the Champions Cup, the Investec Champions Cup. So we lack at the moment, you were to call it that way. We just need, you know, where do the box line up? North, South? You know, do we now, you know, move the rugby champs to end of the year where we smash each other as a Southern Hemisphere? We join 6 nations? Because we need to make that call sooner or later. You know, that one global season, we need to make a call where we're aligned.
But again, the global season is going to fit too. Because now, if you go global season, you're thinking about the French as well.
Yeah.
Remember that those clubs are all privately owned. Are they going to allow, you know, their players that they pay millions for just to go play for the national teams?
So if World Rugby like FIFA does, this is a FIFA weekend, this is a FIFA block, no club is playing, only internationals.
Listen, as we're sitting now, the French are already being difficult with only, you know,
we'll have to adjust to the French.
You know, so it's not like, it's not, and I hear what you're saying, but as things are standing now, like there's only certain amount of matches that the French teams are saying you can go play for your national team. Other than that, don't come ask me about a warm-up match or this and that. There's a certain period and you have to play within that. So again, it's so multi-layered because, you know, again, we think South African perspective, someone else might think a French perspective. And it's a difficult space to get to because ultimately all we want is for the best teams to compete week in and week out. But how are we going to get that? That's going to be a challenge.
So talking about the best teams, this weekend we've got the URC kicking off. 2 former champions.
Yeah.
Leinster, we've got the Stormers, no internationals. So when you got an international window or a world rugby window, so all those internationals will be available for their clubs. That's the reality. So even our domestic comps, you know, the stakes go up.
No, it will help. But it's how are we going to find the time? How are we going to adjust the calendar? I mean, you don't want the URC to start without your Springboks. But I mean, you go through phases where the 6 nations start and the Northern Hemisphere teams need to play without their box. So it cancels each other out, and that's why you need bigger, stronger squads. But, I mean, you want the best players play internationally, and you actually want them to play in the top competitions like the URC Champions Cup and those competitions.